Well, a very good day to you. Welcome to this week's episode of The Big Question. I'm your host, Simon Irungu, always joined in by the man himself, a political analyst here in Kenya, top political analyst here in Kenya, Professor Herman Manyora. How are you doing, sir?
Well, just say I'm here with Manyora. That is much more true. Yes, I'm doing well.
You're doing well? Yeah. Prof, as I was going through Twitter, I came across this tweet. Unfortunately, I can't remember who tweeted this, but what I can remember how the tweet was reading is that Ruto's government will collapse sooner than we expect. And I remember me and you having a conversation, and you said that it's going to be very difficult for William Ruto to finish this 5 years term, Prof. Now, looking at all these difficulties that this new government is facing, you know, coming from a pandemic, the war in Ukraine, high prices, people are unemployed, Prof. Now, how difficult is it going to be for this government, Prof?
I think I must correct what I said. What I said was, we have entered a phase in our political life where the idea that you get in and wait for 5 years automatically, as a matter of course, is going to be behind us. That I can see going forward, governments are going to fall midstream. So that the idea that you will always have elections every 5 years may begin to change, and it can begin with Ruto. Okay. So that, just like it happens within parliamentary systems, votes of no confidence, crisis, and things of that nature can bring down a government in a very democratic way. So I'm seeing these things happening. So for Ruto, we pray that he finishes his 5 years. He has made many promises to Kenyans. He's a good man. But again, there are too many promises he made. If he doesn't fulfill those promises, because they were very populist, they were touching common people, they are not about grand things. You know, people promise big, grand things. Those ones you can play around with. But when you promise people, maize flour, unga itakuwa shilingi 80, then instead of coming to 80, it goes to 250. Hey, that's a little dangerous, eh?
He said he needed time to work on that.
And then you said 100 days, now you want 1 year. Who knows? After a year, you could want another 1 year. So people can say, go home. Okay. Let's try somebody else. My theory is that that's where we are headed. That henceforth, ukiingia State House ufikiri miaka 5, ukistuka utakuwa nyumbani kwako Bondo, Surugoi, wapi, Mululu for Mudavadi, Sekulu for what do you call him? Kalonzo, Mombasa for Joho, Butere for Paranya. These are the people who you can be your presidents.
You're saying one is a pigwa na Butua.
Ama Manyora to go to Lombei.
Now a Ruto supporter will want to know, you know, some of the Ruto supporters wouldn't understand why you're saying that a Ruto's government is going to fail. You know, he's just been in power for a very few months now, Prof. Someone, you being a political analyst, you've seen, you've done your study from across the country. What are some of the things that bring down a government?
What I'm saying is, and I want to repeat, I'm not saying Ruto's government is going to fall. What I'm saying is we are now playing different politics. And in the future, and the future starts from this election of 2022 going forward, it will not be uncommon for a president to finish 2 years, 1 year, and go home instead of 5. And the reason I can tell you is, now to answer your question, some of the challenges that people face in the world today are global in nature. As a president or as a country, you may have very little control on what's going on. Nobody had control over Corona. It brought Trump down. You know? It has messed economies of the world. It has messed our economy. But it's not Uhuru who brought Corona. The Ukraine-Russian war is affecting world economy and world politics. Ruto said no. But the truth is, yes, now he's saying he knows it is going on. The producers of oil and the politics of oil and the pricing of oil is beyond Ruto, beyond Uhuru. So these factors will have a direct bearing on people. Now, when you bring it in a context of the Kenyan context, where you have made so many populist promises against the reality that the world is facing challenges, and the economy is going to receive a beating beyond your control, that is recipe for disaster. You can go home. Because you have already told people, mvua haitoki Mau, mvua inatoka binguni. So kateni miti. You have already told people, there's nothing to do with Ukraine. It's the handshake between Raila and Uhuru that is causing the price of maize flour to go up. So when you tell them you want 1 year, they don't understand, because Raila is not there, Ruto is not there. You have already said oil has nothing to do with the economy. And now, when it has a bearing on the economy, you cannot turn around and tell people, give me 1 year. They will not give you a year. The moment the hunger bites and they are angry, they will be angry. And that anger can be capitalized by the way you capitalize the suffering of people under Uhuru Kenyatta. And you ran away with them in the hustler movement. Somebody else can capture the same people who are suffering and democratically end your government. Yeah.
Okay, now, Prof, how does the government, at this point we're talking about Samuel Ruto's government, Prof, now how does he explain to his citizens that some of these factors are global and not national issues? Now, how do you make the common Wananchi understand such an issue?
You hire experts like Manyora to help you.
Okay, then how do you,
because,
if you're hired, how do you go about it?
But how do I say, and it must be for a pay? I don't say it for free.
So you're saying
because you have told people, hii shida mnapata ni handshake na BBI. Mambo ya Ukraine hiyo ni uongo.
Okay.
Mambo ati ya mafuta hiyo hakuna. The dollar, the power of the dollar in the world, hakuna hiyo ni uongo, ni handshake. So how you turn around now to tell people Ukraine is affecting us, price of oil is affecting us, the dollar is affecting us, international shipping is affecting us. So those 4 factors are affecting the cost of living in the world globally. Because oil may stabilize a bit, but the shipping lines have more than tripled the cost of shipment in the past 1 year. You have no control over it. Between Russia and Ukraine, the world's grain supply is almost, I don't know, I don't have the figures, but it has affected the supply of grain so much that no country will be spared. Between Ukraine and Russia, the supply of gas, the oil, the traditional sources now are changing. When the traditional sources are changing and you're getting new sources, that has an impact on the pricing of oil. That has an impact on Kenya. So how do you explain to people? It is those forces. But you said it was a handshake. It was BBI. You get it? And then you too have your own small things in the country which you can take care of. You can't take care of the politics. I've said this. Ruto and Gachagua must be taking care of the politics. Because you are not taking care of the politics, and yet things are tough on the other side. Things are bad, and you are adding salt into the injury of those who believe you stole their election. You are still saying Mzee wa Kizimia. Our competitors, they mess the economy.
Actually, they are not.
So you are not sorting out the politics. So you can sort out the politics very easily by stopping reference to the election, by stopping complaining and referring to Raila and the rest, by governing, even by being accommodative, by bringing the country together. So if you take care of the politics, even if things this side are very rough, people can give you some time to handle them. But more importantly, what Ruto and Gachagua ought to do is to do what they can do. So that by the time things get out of control, if they get out of control, people know you tried. You tried to bring down the price of unga like Uhuru tried. You tried to bring down the price of petrol like Uhuru tried. But things have reached to a point.
It can't go down.
It can't go down further. In fact, it's going up. People will understand. So how Arabu na mafuta yao, mbona unatumaliza hivi? But you see, from the day one, you have said no, natoa hizo subsidies. It makes a lot of sense. I support that. I don't agree with subsidies. But you see, that is economics. That's not politics. You have to balance between politics and economics. So Ruto is going on the side I support, which is politics, which is economics. That subsidies never help anybody. but against a backdrop of suffering of millions of Kenyans. So you give them subsidies, you remove some levies on fuel, you subsidize maize flour, unga, people celebrate, they're happy. As things become difficult, if they become difficult, you tell them, we need to tighten our belts. Hapa hatuwezi. You see? And then they agree with you, they tighten their belts, they support the government, even they suffer with the government. So those are the things he needed to have done, according to me.
Okay, now as we wrap up the conversation, Prof, there is this person maybe from Turkana. This is an example. He doesn't know whether there is a war in Turkana. But the best in Ukraine,
yes.
Sorry, the only thing that the best information he got was from the campaigns. You know, with the campaigns, they reach out to the most remote
yes.
part of the country,
yes.
and these people are given promises. Then, Prof, how is it then dangerous is it going to be for the government, for this person in Turkana? They don't know whether there is a war going on in Ukraine.
Yeah, because when Uhuru tried to explain, some of these things are beyond Kenya.
How dangerous is it?
People didn't. It's dangerous. That's
out?
why Raila didn't win for some reason. That's why Raila lost. Because people are saying they are blaming Uhuru for everything. He tried to explain to them it was this thing they didn't hear. So you're asking how dangerous. You see, Uhuru wanted Raila to be president or whatever, assuming so. Raila wanted, he's not president. So for Ruto again, it's even worse. Attempting to explain to people it's the Ukraine war. It's the international crude oil prices. It's so difficult because normally, like you say, people don't care about it. They just care. When they go to buy maize, they want to find maize flour at the right price. They don't care about Ukraine. For him, it is even worse. Because he told people categorically, those things like Ukraine, Russia, what had nothing to do with the price of these things. So for him, it's double tragedy and double jeopardy.
Now do they go back to the Mwananchi and now start saying what Uhuru
No,
is saying?
you don't go to Mwananchi and ask for a year, oh, we shall give fertilizer, oh, we shall improve farming. Who tells you it will work?
Okay.
I want to tell them this, and again for free, I should charge them. Deal with the immediate problem. As you look for long-term solutions, deal with the immediate problem. The immediate problem is the crazy price of goods and commodities in this country. Specifically the price of oil, the price of unga, and which affect everything else. That is the serious reality that you must deal with without excuses, without blames, without lamentations, and without asking for a year or two. Period.
My finishing remarks, Prof, correct me if I get it wrong. I'm trying to come up with a phrase from what you have said, that the current government should focus with the 5 years that they have been given to govern this country instead of maybe focusing on the 2027 election, because it might be difficult for them even to finish these 5 years.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very difficult because they think once you have the politics right not in the manner explained of bringing the country together and healing the wounds. To them, politics right by making sure you have covered you have support across the country from leaders. Umeshona northeastern, umeshika watu wote, umewacha Azimio, unaenda western, unanyakua wale wengine walikuwa. That to them is fixing the politics. Okay. And that is 2027.
They are playing leader.
But you have a whole 5 years to get 2027. Who tells you you'll get there?
Focus on the first 5 years.
Focus on today as you move towards 2027. And this is what they are not doing. They must look at today. Ask yourself, can we sustain ourselves in power with this increasing cost of living? With everything going crazy, can you sustain yourself in power? My honest opinion is it will be very difficult.
Okay. We the young people say we live today because tomorrow is not promised. Now, keep the conversation going. We don't know how difficult it's going to be for William Ruto the first 5 years. Remember, he's taking on a government from a pandemic, the Ukrainian war. How difficult is it going to be for him? Now, keep the conversation going through the comment section. Keep your feedbacks coming. Well, till you have the next episode of The Big Question. Enjoy the rest of your day.